get the slides up. Oh, did I put that in there? Well, I guess all of you guys know the history of OS2VOICE. Which slide are you right on now?
I'm on
Martin?
performed and planned projects. The first slide.
Oh, you can flip to the second slide, please.
Okay, short history of OS2VOICE.
The next one, please.
OS2VOICE.
Yeah, well, for the people that don't know what happened, Voice has been around quite a long time, but the primary reason for changing the organization was because the fiscal legal position of Voice was unclear. So it's still the Voice organization, but we now had it incorporated at as a Dutch non-profit organization in 2014, and all of the money has now been put also in a bank account. The trouble was that for the previous organization, it was unclear for the Canadian IRS who owed the money. So for the tax inspector, it could probably have looked like a private individual with $30,000 in the bank and receiving donations from OS2 users. We no longer have people, but we have people that donate money to Voice. Currently, we've got about $17,000 in the bank. I'll get back to that later, what we've done with that money. And also, the Voice organization is no longer just really an organization for Voice members, what it really used to be, but more general for the community as a whole to achieve things. Now, to make certain that the money gets spent in a transparent way, is that we've got a board of 7 members that oversee the spending of the money. Can you flip to the next slide, please?
Okay, what was done with the donations?
Yeah, well, you can see it here. Basically, we're sponsoring OS2.org for 120 euros here, so that it can cover the hosting cost. We paid 1,000 euros for a backup server that NetLabs is using to back up all of its source code repositories. That was an extra investment that was made. We've already paid 1,800 euros to Bitwise Works to contribute to Qt 5.5 development, which I think they will start on within the next couple of months. I don't know where it sits on their priority list. And we will be donating another 1,800 euros when the project is completed halfway. We've already seen a thank you from Wim Roel from the Netherlands for a laptop that we donated to him so that he could work on his SMP support for his webcam drivers. If you go to the NetLabs X Workplace repository, you can see that the code is being checked in by Rich Walsh. We paid him to finalize the split view Windows support in X Workplace. If you guys don't know what that is, you can probably ask somebody like Steve or Lewis who know more about that. There will also be publicly free of charge available binaries of the X Workplace that can be downloadable. It's currently being tested. The other thing that was done with the money is that we organized Warpstock 2015 and 2016. And in order to really be transparent about how the money is spent, we've also got a financial report for 2015 on the website indicating where the money was spent on and how many donations we received and how much money we have left in the bank currently. We've also sent out the same newsletter via our new website, articles of OS2VOICE.org, where you can see some of our future plans. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Warpstock Europe, 2015-2016.
Yeah, thank you. Well, when I left Mensis, there was kind of a void for Warpstock Europe. It didn't really came off the ground, so That's why I decided to pick that up. I didn't hear any people from either Germany or the Netherlands that wanted to put up a Warpstock Europe. I must say that Sigurd Vastenrad organizes a day in Cologne in November each year. So, but he's the only one that does something equivalent of a event. Interestingly enough, over the last 2 years, the amount of attendees to Warpstock Europe has been rising. And also understood from Neil that also quite early on, Warpstock US has had a higher amount of pre-bookings, early bird bookings for Warpstock. So I find that a bit encouraging to see that the amount of attendees rising. Some people might ask, well, you know, there are people in the US that are donating generously their yearly contribution to Voice. Why should Voice be spending money on organizing Warpstock Europe? I think that if you visit the event, it's you'll see that there are a lot of developers just like at Warpstock US talking to one another. So I think that in Europe there is a need for such an event as well. It contributes to the overall the livelihood in the community, and it makes people go home again with a renewed interest in the platform. Could we go to the next slide, please?
Warpstock Europe 2017.
Well, yeah, that's my advertisement in this slide. Warpstock Europe 2017 is already set. That will be on the 21st and 22nd of May next year. Entry fee will be around €50, and we also have an already bigger event room. We will also have a social event on Friday evening with a tram trip through Rotterdam in the evening in a antique tram. There will also be the possibility of a OS2 quiz. I'm still looking at setting one up to test everybody's knowledge on the platform. And of course, I'm looking for speakers. So if anybody is interested, please drop me a message. And of course, you can see, currently I'm working on some new articles for warpstock.eu. So keep an eye on that. Of course, there will also be a video and an audio stream again for the people who will not be able to attend. So I hope to reach out to the people that cannot visit the event. Can you go to the next slide, please?
rpm.os2voice.org.
Yes, well, with the arrival of Arcanoa Package Manager, I keep seeing the discussions on some of the forums where people go that they don't like this directory structure on OS2, or other arguments are raised why a form of a package manager, why people don't like it. To be honest, I think that discussion is a past station. If you look at the amount of people that get stuck installing upgrades of software. So basically the idea of the RPM repository is that we will start repackaging OS2 software in the RPM format, and that you can install it on OS2 with just a click of a mouse button. I've already got 2 volunteers that want to start helping with that, and I still need to get the website up, the actual archive. I hope to do that somewhere in the beginning of next year, but I hope that will also contribute to making it easier for developers to put a package in RPM. Everybody knows that when you download a package, you need to run the zip, you need to create an icon on the desktop, sometimes you need to put some settings in the file. What if you could just do it the whole way, just like the Linux installation does? So that's what the RPM OS2VOICE org repositories for. Could we go to the next slide, please?
Warpstock Europe 2017. Wait, oh, I went the wrong way. Articles.os2voice.org.
Well, that's also one of the little product projects that we've been working on. We wanted to have a CMS system in which people could easily, just like with a wiki, publish articles. And in order for Voice members and the community as a whole to see how Voice spent its money, we've published the first article there. I'm really hoping that there are people that want to write an article about anything related to OS2. OS2 Voice used to have its newsletter until circa, I think, 2009. What really kind of brought the newsletter into trouble was that people sent in an article and the editorial staff collected the articles until they had enough articles, but this was kind of a downwards spiral as the influx of articles was not sufficient to bring out the newsletter in a timely fashion. So what articles OS2voice.org is intended for is that once an article gets written, it will get instantly published, and it will not be published as a newsletter with several news items with several articles in it. Hoping that will again get people to write something about OS2. If that's gonna work, we'll see. As I said, the first article is live, but if there are people who are willing to write an article, please contact us. We can create a simple account for you. You can write the article and then we can publish it. But at least it doesn't have to wait anymore on final publication. Let's see. Well, yeah, that's just about it. What I wanted to tell you. I haven't had much time this year to work on it, being pretty occupied with my full-time day job. But I wanted to give you an impression where I think some of the people who donate money to Voice are actually in the room, so thank you for your donations. But I was actually wanting to know if people had any interest in certain projects to be financed, which actually brings me already to the last page of my presentation. I was wondering if there were people that have any suggestions, if they wanted to see any specific projects or certain things brought back by OS2. For example, I'm still considering to bring back IRC speakups, but then in a more modern way. For example, with a audio client, so that you can talk with a group of people instead of type. So I'm still looking at ways to make interaction for OS2 users that are scattered around the globe to make that easier. But I wanted to know if there was any feedback from the room, from people, if you had any questions regarding certain projects that you would like OS2Voice to see to work on.
Well, if no one else has one, I want to suggest that Firefox is still critical to the survival of the platform, and I'd love to see attention paid to that.
Well, we'll see how the Mozilla guys bring along. I don't know where they're currently getting their funding from. But that's probably something that's outside of the scope of what the Voice Foundation can finance. That's why we're also transparent about how much money we got in the bank.
Yeah.
But there are some more projects in the pipeline that might get sponsored by us, but I can't disclose that right now. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I feel that the money that we're spending is being spent in a correct fashion, as we need to pick our projects wisely. Are there any other questions then?
Maybe a good suggestion for an article is how to package how to make an RPM package.
RPM.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that on the list here. Thanks. I've already talked to Albert Paul. He was one of the people that indicated that he wanted to start repackaging his software in RPM format. And he looked at the file format, but he said that it's not as easy as Warpin, which just about everybody can figure out how that works. But I'll put that on the list. I've also had some feedback from another board member that said that there were 2 or 3 other people that wanted to write an article. So I'll just keep your eyes pointed at the OS2VOICE website for further updates. Are there any other questions then? No? Okay. Okay, well, you guys enjoy Warpstock then. I'm going to sign off then, and I'll probably hopefully be seeing some of you in Europe here next year, and enjoy Warpstock there.
Okay.
Thank you, Roderick.
Thank you, Roderick.